welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacqueline Hernandez for those that are new, but I do go by Jacky. And if you are new, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to become part of my YouTube family. So for today's video, I brought you guys another makeup tutorial, which I am so excited for you guys to see. So I did bring you guys on the process on how I created the makeup look that I'm wearing right now. I actually have worn this makeup a couple of times already. I did upload like a couple of stories on my Instagram, and a lot of you guys requested this makeup look, so I'm excited that I can finally sit down and bring this video to you guys. I am so excited for you guys to see the steps on how I achieve the look, and I'm also providing you guys the products that I've been using at the moment. I constantly change what I use in my makeup routine because I like to try various different types of products. If you're interested on how I achieve this makeup look, then just go ahead and keep on watching. I already did my left side and I'm going to do my right side. I'm going to prep this other eye, and I'm going to be using my Louise base in the shade Romour 01. So now that I prime my eye, I'm just going to blend it out using a Morphe M173 brush and making sure everything is well blended. I'm not going to be setting my eye just because usually when I do colorful or dark eyeshadows, this is the key for more pigmentation for me. So I'm not going to be setting it, and then I am going to just go ahead and go in with eyeshadow. For today's eyeshadow palettes, I am going to be using both of the Murillo Twins times Beauty Creation palettes that look like this. It's a collaboration with them that they did a couple months ago, and I'm honestly obsessed. I use these eyeshadow palettes mostly every day that I do my makeup. You can tell by the first palette that I use it a lot because it contains more natural shades, but today I'm going to be using this one too to create this navy blue smoky eye. I'm going to be using Rihanna's palette first, and I'm going to be using a Morphe M441 brush and the eyeshadow OMG, which is this one right here. It's just like a very natural nude shade. It's matte, and I'm going to put that all over my eye. I'm going to be adding this eyeshadow all over my crease. We are going for a halo eye, but I just want to make sure that I have that translucent shade first before I go in with any dark colors. So this is gonna help combine all colors together. Once I am done applying that bone color to my eye, I'm going to be following it with a darker brown shade, and for that I'm using a M456 brush from the James Charles times Morphe collaboration, and it is a more defined crease brush. That same Rihanna palette, and taking that darker brown shade called All Good. I'm going to tap a little bit onto my brush because these eyeshadows are pretty pigmented. I'm going to be applying it to my outer corner of the eye and my inner corner around right here. I'm going to blend it out, but as I blend it out, I'm going to try to just stick to the outer and this inner corner of my eye right here. Because I said we are going with the halo eye, and halo eyes are pretty hard to do sometimes because the eyeshadow does tend to get everywhere. And then once I get to the middle, I'm just going to do really soft back and forth motions like this. I'm gonna go back with that fluffy brush, the Morphe M441. This is the brush that we use for that bony color, and I'm just going to use it to blend out this darker brown to make sure that I don't have any harsh lines. So now we're moving on and adding a darker shade of brown. I'm now going to be using the Britney palette, which is this one right here, and with a Morphe M506 brush, I'm going to be taking this dark brown eyeshadow right here, which is called Hello. I am adding this darker brown shade on top of All Good, just so that it can create more pigment, more definition to that smoky eye. The concept here is just adding more darker colors, but obviously starting with the light ones first. It's okay if your eye almost looks as full. We just want to make sure that we keep the dark brown colors on the outer and inner corner of our eyes like this, and leave this tiny space for that navy blue color. I've applied enough of that Hello shade, and I'm gonna go back with that fluffy brush and just blend it out. Now we're moving on to the fun part, and we are going to add color to that middle part of our eye. We're going to be taking a Morphe M166 brush. It's just like a flat brush. I'm using this color right here. It's a matte navy blue shade, and it's called Drip. So I'm adding drip to all of the middle part of my eyelid. It's okay if it gets messy. We are going to go back with those brown shades to make sure that everything is blended well together. I'm going to be applying some setting spray to my brush. I just feel like when I add setting spray to my brush before dipping it to an eyeshadow, it gives it more pigmentation. I'm going to move on to this eyeshadow right here. It's a shimmery navy blue color, and it's called Pieces, and I'm going to be adding that on top of that drip color. Now that I've applied that blue eyeshadow, I am going to blend it out with the browns. I'm taking the shade Hello, and I'm going to be adding it to the outer corner like this and the inner corner of the eye. I obviously don't want to lose that navy blue color, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go back with that shimmer shade and add more. I'm going to add a black shade, and you can take any black shade that you have, but I'm going to be using the James Charles palette and taking this black shade. Taking the Rihanna palette and using that first shade that we started with, this one right here, I'm going to just use a little bit to blend everything out. I'm going to add a little bit of shimmer to the top of the navy blue shade. I'm going to be using this Pigment by NYX, and this shade just says Pig 20. And I'm just taking a little bit of glue by Anastasia and a flat brush and applying just a tiny bit of that glue on top of the navy blue shade right here. Once I apply that glue, I'm just going to take a tiny bit of shimmer and adding it on top of that navy blue shade. Went ahead and applied some mascara to my eyelashes, and I am going to be adding some falsies. Love to use fuller eyelashes on darker eyeshadows because it just complements the look better and gives my eye a pop. I'm going to be using this beautiful eyelash right here. It is by Stella Beauty, and the name of the eyelash is Athena. Going to move on to my face, and for foundation today I am going to be using this NARS soft matte foundation. This thing has been my ride or die lately. The shade that I use is Fiji in Light 5. This foundation is so good, especially for those that have oily skin. I'm also going to prime my face. I just need to clean the underneath of my eye because I did have a lot of fallout with that navy blue glitter shadow. I don't know why or what it is, but I've done this eyeshadow a couple of times already, and today, the day that I filmed this video, eyeshadow wanted to act up. I just didn't want to say anything. I'm like, I'm gonna be positive, everything's gonna turn out fine, which it did, but it was giving me such a hard time to blend out. I don't know why. For primer, I used the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I really like this on my skin. I'm adding it to my T-zone area and to my cheeks right here. I really like this primer. I just want to find another primer that can keep my face super matte throughout the day, because this thing does its job. It honestly attaches to the foundation, but by the end of the day or towards the end of the day, I notice that my face gets oily, not a lot, but it does. And it's not the foundation, I feel like it's the primer, because I don't think it's made specifically for oily skin. If you guys use any matte primers or anything that works best for you, leave them down in the comments below, because I'm really interested in looking for a primer that works perfect with my NARS foundation, because that foundation is so good. I'm just applying this foundation on my face. Before I start laying out my foundation, I do like to spray my face with this Rare Beauty Prep Setting Spray all over my face. This thing does its job. It's so good. As you can tell, I'm almost done with it. I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and just blend everything out. I totally forgot to color correct under my eyes, so the next step that I am going to be doing is applying concealer. I am going to be using the Born This Way Too Faced concealer in the shade Snow. I'm going to do a little bit of cream contouring. I'm going to be applying a darker shade of concealer to the temples of my cheeks, my forehead, and the bridge of my nose. And for that, I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee. I'm going to be taking a buffing brush by Real Techniques, which looks like this, and be blending it out using tapping motions. I usually like to do one step at a time because this concealer does tend to dry very quickly. I also like a bright under eye, so I'm just going to take a little bit of this Kylie Jenner concealer and in the shade Shell. Onto liquid blush. It's in the shade Rosy by this brand right here. And I'm going to be applying just a tiny bit amount because it's very pigmented, which I love. I love blush. I'm going to blend it out with this contour brush right here. Now I'm going to set my entire face using the One Size translucent powder, which is honestly really nice because it blurs out your face. I'm going to take my beauty blender and blend out the under eyes because they did crease a little bit. Powder by Fenty Beauty, and it's in the shade Butter, and I like to use this powder. It's not translucent powder. I just like to use it to set under my eyes and give it a brighter look. I'm going to add bronzer. I'm using two different types of bronzers. I'm using this one by Marc Jacobs in the shade Tantric, and on top of that, Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Island Thing. I'm going to be using separate brushes. The first one I'm going to use is a Morphe R2 brush, which is a big fluffy brush, and I'm using that one to apply my Marc Jacobs bronzer. To use the Fenty one, I'm going to use the M405 brush. I'm just taking a small amount, tapping the excess off the brush and adding a tiny bit using circular motions. Going back to that One Size powder, I'm going to use it to bake. Taking a big fluffy brush and removing all that excess powder that we did apply for baking. Now I am going to be working on my under eyes, and I'm using black eyeliner. I'm using this product right here. It's the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Black Bean. We're not going to leave this eyeliner looking like this. We are going to blend it out. I'm just taking a fat blush. When I blended out the eyeliner, I am going to take a little bit of that dark brown shade from the Britney palette. Going to be using some blush. I'm using the Kylie Jenner Close to Perfect blush, Peach Trio blush by On. So now I am going to be adding some highlighter to my face. I am using the Anastasia x I'm Rosy highlighter, which looks like this. And then I'm just taking like a small fan brush, and this one is by Morphe in M558. And now moving on to lips, I'm going to be using this lip combo right here by Top Vision. I do have a coupon code with them, which I'll leave it right here. It does come with a lip liner pencil, a lipstick, and a super pretty gloss, but I have no idea where the gloss is. I'm also going to be applying some gloss. I'm going to be using this ColourPop one. It's a very old gloss that I've had from like 3 years or 2 years ago, so I don't know if they still have it in stock. But it's in the shade Net Freak, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this Kylie Jenner gloss in the shade Blow Me Away. This is the finished look. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, I've worn it to different occasions in the past, which I've received tons of compliments, so that's why I decided to film it for you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. If you guys really like how I created this makeup look, or just like this video in general, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and leave any questions or comments regarding anything down below for me to answer. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!